What do women really want? Have you ever been on a date and you were struggling with trying to understand what she actually wants from you? Maybe you're a really nice guy, but you find that women tend to lose interest in you over the course of a couple of dates. I mean, in society, there's basically two types of advice out there. The mainstream tells you to just be the nice guy, to be a gentleman, to really listen to her, to be kind and caring, and everything is going to be fine. Well, you've tried that and you realized there must be something else to this, because I've been nice, I've listened to women, I'm a generally decent dude, but still they tend to lose interest in me. I just can't seem to meet the right one. Well, then there are those pickup artists out there who are basically telling you to treat women like shit, to lie, to manipulate, to cheat, just to have sex with as many women as possible, basically to be an asshole. Now that's really not what you want to be either, right? Because then you're sacrificing your sense of identity as a man, because that's just not who you are. So, what the hell are you supposed to do? Today, I have a list of characteristics for you that women want from men in terms of the three dimensions: being, doing, and having. I got it right here on my phone, so let's crack right in. First, in terms of being, one is high energy. If you are half dead in terms of your aliveness, if you walk around in a daze, if you're not excited about life, if you're not engaged with life, then everybody's going to lose interest in you, right? You got to be able to have high levels of energy. Now, as we spoke about in the last video, high levels of energy does not mean being an extrovert. If you're introverted, you can stay introverted, but you can be calm and have high levels of energy. And you can be really, really hyper and actually have quite low levels of energy. It's just about boosting your mental and emotional state, to bring positivity, in other words. That's one. Number two, so this is all under the category of being, right? Number two is certainty, confidence, and assertiveness. Women need you to be certain, to be grounded in your own sense of identity. So many men, they walk onto the date and they say in their minds to themselves, basically, oh, I hope she likes me. What do I need to do for her to fall in love with me? Let's get rid of the leaf here. What can I do to make her like me? So many men, they're willing to sacrifice their entire value system, their entire sense of who they are, just to get her, just to please her, to get a little bit of love and affection. That's not what they want. She needs to realize that you're super confident. She needs to realize you want her, but you absolutely don't need her. Assertiveness also means when you're on a date with her, or let's say you're scheduling a date, and she's not responding for 2 or 3 days, that you're gonna treat her basically in a respectful way like you would any other person. Let's say you're scheduling a date with a friend of yours, and she doesn't respond for 3 or 4 days, and then all of a sudden on the day she goes, oh yeah, that's actually fine, let's meet at 7. Then you're gonna say, no, I already made plans. That's not gonna fly. I mean, what most men do in that case is they have a set of rules or a set of behaviors they're willing to tolerate from their friends and basically any other human being, and there's a different set of behavior, a much higher level of tolerance when it comes to women. And let me tell you something, she's never going to respect you if you do that. If you don't assert your sense of self, if you don't set these boundaries, she's never going to see you as valuable, because remember, setting boundaries is what keeps the value high. Next, being on his mission. Ambition, engaged with life. She has to see that you like your career, you like your job. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, yet you can work on yourself. It's not about being this ideal man, right? If we'd have to be ideal, like this perfect version of ourselves to be in a relationship with a woman, none of us would be, because none of us are. I'm not perfect, you're not, right? So that's definitely not the message I'm trying to convey to you here today. But you should be excited about what you're doing, because, not the least of which, being excited about your day-to-day activities that you're pursuing for like 6, 7, 10, 12 hours a day. If you don't like that, it's going to have a negative impact on your energy. You will bring a lot of negativity back home or to the date, right? If she sees that you're genuinely excited about where you're going, or at least passionate and certain, these are my goals, this is my mission, this is where I'm going with my business, my career, she likes that. Because remember, women want the so-called alpha dude, right? Somebody who has ambition, somebody who knows very clearly the direction he's headed in, and he's not wavering. And by the way, the German's coming through. By the way, You're also never going to sacrifice your business and career goals. I sometimes see men who are willing to move all the way around the world and sacrifice great career opportunities in one country just to be with a woman in another country. Now, I'm not saying that moving to be with somebody is a bad idea, but I've literally known people who had fantastic job opportunities, for example, in London in investment banking, but instead they moved to Dublin where they didn't have those job opportunities just to be with someone. And then they ended up drinking, smoking weed for a year, their energy levels dropped, and the relationship suffered. And she actually perceived him as much less valuable and much less interesting because he sacrificed his entire sense of self and mission just to be with her. Now, she might tell you in the beginning that she wants that, and she might reward you with hugs and affection and love, but it's gonna die off real soon, and it's gonna be replaced with a sense of resentment. Next, solid habits. She wants you to have solid habits in your life. She wants you to be, we're speaking about high quality women, right? There's some women who have terrible habits for themselves, but the kind of woman you want, the person who's going to be the mother of your child, the woman who's going to be your life partner, she wants you to take care of your body. She wants you to educate yourself. She wants you to have generally good habits in terms of how you're conversing with people, how you're treating people, right? Because remember, she's always evaluating you unconsciously in terms of the potential you have for being a father or a life partner. That's very, very important. The second layer is having. What does she want you to have in terms of actual structural things in life, circumstances? Well, not as much as the mainstream believes. It's the right kind of woman is not actually going to want you for your money. Now, she does want you to have a solid job or a business that's going to fund a life together with her. You have to be able to provide for family, a couple of holidays, and just like overall pleasant experience, obviously, right? Because otherwise that lack of finances, that lack of financial resources is going to introduce a lot of stress into your life. But that's not going to be the decisive factor, because there's plenty of men in that top 10% bracket that we're talking about who are able to supply those finances who don't get the right kind of women. Like most of my clients, almost all of them fall into that. Some of them are extraordinarily financially successful, some of them only a little bit, but like most of them have decent jobs. But just because you have a decent job, that doesn't automatically mean that women are gonna come to you. Like especially some of my multi-millionaire clients, or like the extremely wealthy ones, they still struggle with meeting the right kind of women because they tend to attract gold diggers. If you lead with money, you're only going to attract the wrong kind of women. If you're in a position where if you have that much money available, what you should be leading with is your personality. It's fun. It's emotions. You shouldn't make it about the things you're able to provide. And oftentimes these people, who may be founders of tech companies or whatever, they have worked very hard and very long to create that wealth and abundance in their life. Now, the problem is, since they're proud of that, which they should be, they unconsciously brag about it a little bit. They make the conversations and the experiences they have with women about that. And thereby you only attract the kind of women who value that. I'll tell you, Fernanda tells me, David, I don't want to spend money with you. I want to spend time with you because we do like to enjoy, go to restaurants, go to fancy 5-star hotels and shit. We do like that as well. But she actually tells me, David, if I go through for a walk with you through the city center in Dublin, it's amazing, right? It's quality time she wants. The right kind of women are not going to want you for the money. But you do have to have that kind of job. Now, what else does she want you to have? She wants you to have a couple of really good friends. You don't have to have a massive social circle. I'm fortunate to actually have a global social circle at this stage. But that's just more of because of the profession that I have and me being extroverted. Again, 67, like probably 80% of my clients are introverted. And you can be introverted. You don't have to be this massively social guy. That's fine. But she wants you to have a couple of core friends, because it says a lot about you if you have a couple of relationships that are long-standing. Because, as you know, people who aren't able to have long-standing relationships, who burn friendships to the ground, who burn all kinds of relationships to the ground, well, the probability, we're creatures of habit, right? The probability that that person is going to burn the relationship with her down to the ground is very high. So the right kind of women are also going to evaluate based upon the friendships you have. Next, dating and communication. Now we get to probably the most important part. Number one, freedom of expression. A lot of men think they have to have these perfect things to say. They think, let's go this way. They think they have to have these beautifully one-liner pickup thingies to say that are going to create attraction magically. She's going to drop her pants and something is going to go down that night. No, it's not really about that. Words do matter. Having the right thing to say definitely matters at times. But being able to express yourself in a carefree, positive manner, I cannot tell you how important that is. I cannot overemphasize the importance of her truly sensing that you don't need her. Now, you're not ever going to be on the date and tell her, by the way, Sarah, just so you know, I don't actually need you. That's not what's going to happen. You're just going to express it in your vibe. It has to become apparent. Anybody in your life should know that you want them, but that you don't need them. Nobody likes neediness. And what happens when you may have not had sex in a while, or you haven't had a lot of dates in the last while, and then you happen to go on a date with a woman, you're actually very, very excited. And you really want her. You really want things to go well. The problem with that is, well, she's automatically gonna unconsciously conclude that if you're acting needy with her, that you must not have that many options available. So, be free in your expression. You should almost not care whether the date goes well or not. Two conflicting paradigms, right? On the one hand, obviously you care. On the one hand, you gotta learn attraction building strategies and all of that, yada yada. But while you're on the date, the governing belief has to be, I don't care whether this goes well or not. Now, that is not to say that you're going to act like an idiot, you're going to be socially calibrated, you're going to act like a more or less normal member of society, but you're also going to be totally fine with expressing a strong opinion. You're totally okay with her hating you at the end of it. You have to have this idea that after an hour, she's either going to love you to death or she's going to hate you. Because it's no good for you or for anyone if you're a bit like lukewarm water. Right? A lot of men, they communicate in a way that's not too provocative. It's just kind of in the middle, you know, like this weird middle ground. I don't want to say that, could be offensive, right? You're not supposed to offend somebody. You're not supposed to insult someone. You're not supposed to disrespect somebody. You're supposed to be respectful and kind, but for God's sake, express your opinion honestly. If you have certain convictions regarding politics that are deal breakers for you, that are must-haves in a potential life partner, communicate those. Now, obviously not in an interview form. You're not supposed to walk up to the date with a checklist in your hand. She's going to feel weirded out by that immediately, as she should, but communicate those opinions strongly. Next, social calibration. Well, we kind of touched on that already. It's like, be a normal member of society. Be calibrated, right? A lot of people also struggle with understanding cues. Calibration also means you're able to, when you're building physical contact, for example, when you're creating a man-to-woman connection, that you're able to read her signals. Because if she's ever uncomfortable, you need to back off, give her space. Because just because somebody is a little bit uncomfortable in the moment on the date, because of something you said, for example, doesn't mean it's immediately over. You can calibrate afterwards. It happens naturally. In any kind of interaction, there's going to be moments of discomfort and tension. But with laughter, social calibration, a solid understanding of social dynamics, you're going to be able to diffuse the situation and actually create more attraction on the back end of that. Next, she wants you to understand attraction and connection. She needs to see that you know how to actually create attraction, right? There's things like push-pull, teasing, disqualification, various other social dynamics. You need to learn how to communicate more effectively. These are a couple of things that women actually want from you as a man. Now, it goes quite against the mainstream, but it's also not this pickup thing where they talk about lying, cheating, manipulating, where it's just about having sex with as many women as possible. This is about the best of both worlds, if you want. It's about being an authentic version of yourself, being effective in your communication, but also honest. If you can put these things into practice on an ongoing basis on your dates, women will want you. Women will love you. take action, enjoy, be free in your expression, and I'll see you soon.